Back with director, choreographer, dancer, writer, author, novelist, Adam Shankman, talk show host, celebrity judge. Adam's program, this double
so
feature,
awful.
La Cage aux Folles. We just opened with, now we have Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, and Marilyn Monroe in Billy Wilder's Some Like It Hot from 1959. Why Some Like It Hot?
Well, this is sort of just pure farce.
Yeah.
Using drag as a device in a decidedly unqueer way.
Yeah, that's right.
And Hollywood had been doing that since the beginning. You know, starting with Charlie Chaplin, Stan Laurel. Like I said, this is a long-standing.
It was always a joke, and that joke was not really more than, "Ha, you're dressed like a woman."
You know, what's really interesting is it's sort of like it's very vaudevillian, and this falls much more into the slamming door kind of farce, and it's really, really made fun of almost like all the way up to like what they've done now. God forbid I'm saying this, like white chicks. Do you know what I mean? It's like this is like one of those movies where it's really like, oh, for God's sakes, we are so heterosexual that there could be no possible way. Which is the beauty of how this movie ends.
That's right. We don't want to spoil the end, but most people who are watching already know the end. So Wilder has this movie, Fanfares of Love, in his head where musicians dress as women, as gypsies, and in blackface in order to play in different bands. And he thinks, I'm going to steal one of these ideas and create a whole new story about that.
Yeah.
That was its genesis.
Yeah.
Curtis and Lemmon are two members of an orchestra. They're musicians. It was 1929 in Chicago. They're constantly looking for work. And so the motivation here in this movie is they witness a murder at the beginning, and then they're on the run from the mob. And one of the ways to stay ahead of the mob is to dress like women and join this all-girl band.
Yeah. My favorite thing is they make such a huge deal about the fact that they lost their coats and how freezing they are.
Yeah.
The second they decide to be women, they have a wardrobe by Ori Kelly that would kill. Like, there is no woman on earth who would kill for the amount of clothes that they seem to be able to pack.
Right. So let's talk about casting a little bit. Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis. These were not, Billy Wilder did not think, I got to get this Curtis guy and this Lemmon guy to make this movie. When he has the idea, he has very different people in mind.
He went through a list of other actors.
Wanted a big name.
For Jerry, for the part that Jack Lemmon ended up in, and it was like Frank Sinatra, and then there was Danny Kaye, and there was Jerry Lewis.
Bob Hope and Danny Kaye were possibilities. But Sinatra was in there in part because it was a big name, and he was interested. But then Sinatra bows out, and Mitzi Gaynor was going to play.
I know, the Marilyn part. I love that they were like, well, in this movie, we can have a lesser woman in the part if we have these guys.
If we have a guy like Sinatra in the movie. But then with Sinatra gone, right around that same time, Marilyn Monroe expresses interest, and then they lose interest in Mitzi Gaynor, who, by the way, would have been great.
Would have been fantastic.
Yeah, because she was great at everything. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite, most sort of ebullient Marilyn Monroe performances, too. I mean, she was incredible in so many things, and I always feel like her fame always eclipsed her acting
That's right.
ability.
Because she's so famous, it's hard to think of her as an
actor.
Oh, you're a society girl.
Oh, yes, quite. You know, Bryn Mawr, Vassar. We're just doing this for a lark.
Apparently, during the filming of this, her and Billy Wilder really butted heads during the making of this about how to play Sugar.
And as soon as Marilyn came in, then that gave him the option to go with Lemmon, who was not super well known, certainly not a movie star. He was definitely emerging, but not yet a movie star.
Correct. And then this catapulted him.
Yeah, this
changed his life, and he made so many subsequent movies with Billy Wilder.
Lemmon more comfortable right from the start dressed as a woman than Tony Curtis was, who didn't want to come out of his trailer. Yeah, but Lemmon came out of the trailer like swaying from side to side. He just owned it.
Oh, you know the old shell game.
They had this consultant for Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis to sort of feminize them, and they hired
like a drag consultant.
A drag consultant, as it were, and the person who they brought in was this incredibly European famous, although American-born, female impersonator named Barbette, who'd also been, I think, John Cocteau's lover, and, you know, was friends with Josephine Baker, and like this huge, huge female impersonator performer. By the way, you never talk about their sexuality. Didn't talk about being gay. Didn't anything like that. They were just female impersonators at the time. Because,
at the time, right? Yeah.
You know, because God forbid they be queer.
Right. That changes.
That changes things. It's not like that, which is really interesting. That is also about this movie that I also find interesting. Like when you have it as two straight guys doing it, it's hilarious and relatable. If you suddenly suggest that they're queer, there's something different and weird about them. in the same exact costumes, doing the exact same performances. It's such an interesting, like, kind of cultural touch point with these things.
All right, Adam, we'll watch it, and then we'll have more to say afterwards. Here it is from 1959. Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, Marilyn Monroe, George Raft, and very significantly, Joe E. Brown in Billy Wilder's Some Like It Hot. So there's Joey Brown delivering one of the most famous last lines in movies.
And actually, the line that, like, it's like set more people free than I can count.
So that last line, nobody's perfect. Before we started this conversation, we had talked around this a little bit, but it strikes me that that last line, which was not the original last line, was not originally in the script. There was a whole dance number at the end with Marilyn and George Raft. This was obviously better. But there is a suggestion here, because you talked about drag, that you know, it's obviously two heterosexual guys, and if there's any inference that one of these guys might be queer, then it changes the nature of it.
Yeah,
right? And
it's suddenly creepy or something. Yeah.
But that last line rubs up against that a little bit.
As he's rubbing up against her.
Sure, I was going to say, there's I used that intentionally, but Jack Lemmon is weighing this
1,000%.
1,000%, right? You know, like
the scene when they come back from Mexico,
Right,
Jack
right.
Lemmon is dancing around
Right,
that
right,
room
with
like,
the-
I'm engaged.
Right,
Like,
totally,
like
yeah.
this is like, I'm
And it's-
like, my life is set.
Osgood proposed to me. We're planning a June wedding.
What are you talking about? You can't marry Osgood.
You think he's too old for me? Jerry, you can't be serious.
Why not? He keeps marrying girls all the time.
But you're not a girl, you're a guy. And why would a guy want to marry a guy?
Security.
And if you think it's just because he knows that he's going to get divorced and get a settlement, that's not what's happening. He is acting like someone who has just fallen in love. Right.
Yeah. And like, cannot believe the blessing that has been bestowed upon them.
That's right. So I just think now that's... I mean,
Covets the bracelet, you know what I mean? It's
so
like,
it actually is a fairly bold ending, totally masked and approved of by Hollywood because it is funny, right? It
'Cause it's funny.
seems so over the top.
because it's impossible.
Right, because
Yeah,
it's impossible any other way. But
Yeah.
but I don't know. I definitely think that that's in play.
It's very much in play, and I think that Billy Wilder knew exactly what he was doing when they made that decision. And I mean, I like to think so. I'd
Right.
like to hope so.
His friend has obviously found love.
Yeah,
right? You know,
exactly.
right,
And
yeah.
so, and this is all happening while Tony Curtis is making out with Marilyn Monroe right behind them, and it's like the Love Boat is going off to sail, and it's remarkable. But it also suggests blatantly that Joey Brown is like bisexual, pansexual. Like he's completely fine with the fact that Jack Lemmon's a dude.
Right. So before we go, you've also co-written 2 novels, right?
I actually did 2 YA novels that are
All set when?
in 1930s Hollywood.
Around the movie.
About the movie business, yeah. It's about a girl. She was sort of based on Joan Crawford's background, like the Lucille Lesser story about hard luck. She witnesses something, and rather than kill her, she says, if you, because you're pretty, we'll make you a star.
We'll make you a star if
We'll
you
make
keep
you a
your
star
mouth
if you
shut.
keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Because that's your dream. And so she goes, and she ends up in one of those sort of studio low-level contract things like that. And then there's a murder that happens, and she and this young detective
Solve it together.
solve it together.
Yeah, and then the next one's set with the same girl at Hearst Castle.
Yeah, and then there's like real people in it. I put real actors in it.
Your classic movie cred is through the roof. Yeah.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
Adam, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, man.
Dude.
Great. Thanks for coming in.
Always great to see you,
Yeah,
man.
we'll have to hang out.
I would
enjoyed
like that.
Adam Shankman, everybody. Adam is done for the night, but of course the movies continue here on TCM, uninterrupted and commercial-free. Stay with us.
Next on TCM, House of Numbers, then Monterey Pop, and later Jimi Hendrix. Kiss the Sky with TCM Tonight.